You know we be with it, we off in the hood like some wizards. Nobody ever gave us anything. Meant something from nothing, just like magicians. Gotta relearn everything. Just to remember that I was forgetting. Just to remember that we had a vision. Did it all, don't know how I did it. Time to go star season to go and you know those crystal truths. Let them know we in here, yeah, we in the building. Star season to go and you know those crystal children. Back up in the matrix, yeah, we on the mission. Star season to go and you know those crystal children. Let them know we in here, yeah, we in the building. Star season to go and you know those crystal children. Back up in the matrix, yeah, we on the mission. Off on the mission, you know how it goes. Off in the system, they turn up their nose. They took all the soil, but they didn't know. Through the concrete, you see the ropes. Eyes ain't open, don't mean I ain't woke. Ain't got no cash, don't mean that I'm broke.
Welcome. Welcome. The eyes of creation in both the physical and non-physical dimensions are watching from all around the cosmos. Your angelic families, they're watching. Everything that is happening right now at this moment. In this now moment. Waluku ashe sotoku teo naka te mtoku a. Sheluku ushi neo da imta. Shuluku umja lakia kea notuku a. Okwana ashe shalaku uche na ta e. Maliki mchoshena. It's time for questions and answers. It's time to tap into what resonates with you, for you, created by you, and moving through you. That's all Ra wants for you. It's for you to be most you at every moment. I and I. I and I. All of creation moves in, through, and as the I and I in you. Welcome. Marcus?
That's me, I guess. How are you, Sandee?
I'm glorious. I'm glorious. How are you, Marcus?
I'd say glorious times 2 as well. That's for sure. I've just been feeling the abundance, the blessings, the healing. The healing. I had a fractured rib about 2 weeks ago that began, and it's already feeling about at least 80% healed. And this is something that heals in a couple of months, typically. But I've started learning and tapping in, learning something about my own body, because I tap in and tune in, see what it really needs, and what type of concentrated love for my own self it needs as well. So I've been doing my own healing and using different tools, different practices, including chakra balancing. And yes, believe it or not, chakra balancing can help physically heal you, as there's a connection in a multidimensional sense. So I'll definitely touch on that a little bit later on and share a little bit about my process and how I've been able to kind of speed up this process of healing a fractured rib. And along with that, we are about to be joined by a wonderful guest. And this sacred brother is one that has been a part of the medicine path of free energy devices, as well as EMF protection, tensor ring devices as well, with copper, crystals, and other beautiful instruments. And he is a business owner himself when it comes to his creations and his passions. And he's going to be joining us tonight as we talk about the Law of One, a little bit of Organite energy, and recap on the first two books. And joining us, Munaz Magica. Welcome, brother.
Greeting all beings in the love and the light.
How are you tonight?
I am well overall. The wellness, I was just sharing that it's ever present, the consciousness, the one infinite creator, the eye of the I, in which I am, is eternally well, which I have noticed throughout the journey here in this incarnation. And as this wellness and this perfection that is an inherent aspect of this wellness, as it manifests in my life, what is not of that perfection, what is not of that wellness is coming up to the surface to be loved, to be integrated, to be understood, to be harmonized. And I realize that the more that I'm dedicated to this path of positive polarization, the more that the negative polarity within me that is in the unseen or the unconscious or the subconscious will indeed come up. And in this now, I'm actually moving through some emotion. I'm present with it in my field, and I'm doing my best to invite it in for tea, as Ram Dass said. Just, love it and have it here with us. So.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for being with us tonight, brother man. It's really an honor to have you share space with us. And, I've been on this walk with you for a couple of years, kind of flown in and out of your space, checking out the beautiful things that you're serving. And I gotta say, man, beautiful, beautiful science and alchemy and wonderful tools that you are creating. They are definitely beautiful and just super unique and authentic. And thank you for serving and providing these devices for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's what it's all
about. Oh, go ahead, Sandra.
Oh, no, I was going to tell everyone that's what it's all about, how infinitely we all have our unique gifts and talents and what we bring to the service of all, or the service of others, which is what Ra talks about continually, is the choices we get to make for service to others. As we grow and expand within our own self, we get to share what we know. We don't get to make anybody do it our way, but we get to share it.
That's the gift right there. So before we head into the raw material, I'd like to give you the space, brother man, to talk a little bit about what it is that you serve, what you have available for people, and where they can connect with you.
Yeah, so I got this tensor ring around my neck. This is, ancient technology that has, what I've come to realize now, was just simply rediscovered by this man named Slim Sperling and a lot of other beings that were around him at the time when this was unraveling. So basically, I went to a holistic school. I tried to find a way to dedicate my life to be of service. And I ended up at this holistic school, and I met this being who gifted me a ring. And then when I found out what exactly it was, that there was an energy field of harmonic frequency within the ring that was connected to, the Great Pyramids and sacred geometry and free energy, and ascension and healing and harmony, I was like, this is it. This is my path. This is the next step I must learn. I came across a brother named Brother Gaia, and he inspired me to get into the creation of the technology. And from there, kind of self-taught with the guidance of beings that had come before. And then I got into the orgone energy as well, which is just another name for the life force, or Wilhelm Reich called it the orgone, right? The cosmic energy, which is simply another name for the chi, the prana, the shakti. The scientists would call them torsion fields. Tesla called them longitudinal waves. All these different names for the one infinite creator. And I also believe that this energy that is within this ring is the God energy. It's the source energy. It's the field. It's the scalar, where the polarities merge with each other and create the non-polar or the non-dual life force. So that's a simple description. And the way you can find me is Muna's Magica is on Instagram. I have a YouTube with many tutorials of how to create this technology. The website munasmagica.com has the ebook where you can get a walkthrough of basically everything you need to know to become a creator of this technology as well. And lastly, Munas means silence in Sanskrit, and that the highest truth is silence. And Magica obviously speaks for itself, being the magic of the creation, the magical presence of the pure, innocent self that we all are as we dissolve this illusion of separation. Easier said than done. But and this new earth now, the place in which we are headed, which is also here now. It is the arising consciousness on earth. And so you can find me there. You can find me here.
Wonderful. Thank you, brother man. Thank you again for your service and the dedication and passion that you put in. Because one thing about what you do is you're using your hands, and you are twisting, putting a lot of tedious energy and time into very, very passionate channeled energy and tools. So thank you for that work, man, because it is a little bit of concentration, that's for sure.
Yes, indeed. Service to others is service to self.
That's right.
It's
With that being said,
positive polarity. It's our higher beings getting to choose the positive or negative polarity. No right or wrong to it. Those are just labels that we as human beings put on it. But everyone has that gift. Everyone has that talent or or spiritual, if you want to call it spiritual talent within them to move that energy of that gifting energy. So what we do here, guys, what Marcus does, what I do, what Munis does, is not something so spectacular and over the top that you can't do it. You are born with this gift. You just have to go within and ask an embodying question to your higher self, or if those you want to call it your oversoul or your higher being, or whatever your label is for the highest version of you that you haven't gotten to yet. You can do this as well. You don't need to have a website. You don't even need to have any kind of spectacular Instagram page that just stands out and have 1 million followers. All you have to do is just be authentically you. You start where you start. That's what Raw is all about. Raw is just saying, we're here to give you the information. We can't make you do anything with it, but we're here to give the information to you. If you want to call it a head start, or call it a jump, call it what you must, but do what you will with it. And there's the key word: will. Free will. That's your opt-in key, and that's your opt-out key. Nobody's key is different. You get the choice. Higher polarity, lower polarity, just smack in the middle of the polarity. It's all your choice. It's all free will choice. What we're here to help Raw explain to you right here and now, you take what resonates and you leave what doesn't. If you come back later to pick it up, what doesn't resonate, because finally you get it, finally you have that aha moment, we're still here to give it. We're not here to say, I told you so. That's not what Raw's about. Ra came here, walked the earth with mankind, humankind, not just man of mankind, but humankind. And when Ra said, you're not ready, they left the physical earth, but they did not leave the surrounding. They stayed. They pulled up what we might call their universal RV, and they said, we're here and we're going to monitor it till they're ready for us again. Mm-hmm. We're going to stick around and we're going to listen. And then when we, Earth consciousness and humanity, was ready to vibrate again and listen, Ra said, all right, let's speak. And out of that came 5 books. 5, not just 1. 5. From at least these are authors. There's others that Ra came to and expounded information on. Go find them. Go seek them. They're there. Are you ready to ask a question? Are you ready to find out how book 1 and book 2 kind of merge together and expand not just the inquiry, but the answer, and how it might apply to you? Are you ready? I know I am. Are you ready, Marcus? Back to you.
I am definitely ready. So, I'm not gonna hold this back any longer. I'm gonna allow you to flow with book 1 and 2 and see what we got for us.
Okay. So we all know book 1 says, Ra is a 6th density memory complex. They vibrate from what we call Venus. The planet and the beings merged to become a 6th density complex. They became in alignment with each other for calling, right? They represent an evolutionary cycle of what we could do, what we could be. And Ross says, we're here. We're here to share how we got there. We're here to share the now moment that's already happened, but it's happening again for you. So when we started in book 1, the divine, Ra, wants me to read this again. Book 1. We talked about Hatnon. It says, according to an entity called Haton, Hatonn, who has spoken in our group and several others for many years. The purpose in being here, at least for some UFOs or some aliens, whatever we choose to call the label, there is no word for UFO or aliens. So they use our words. That have seen our skies at this time is much like the purpose that we might have in sending aid to a disaster-stricken or extremely impoverished company. It is the desire to be of service. This is why they are here. They answer the call. Whether it's Hatnon or Ra or Bashir, they answered a call. Earth consciousness made a call, and they've been answering for what we consider centuries and millennia. There's no time limit on theirs because they don't know it by time limit, but they'll give it to you as best how we break it down and what time is. Hatnon says, we have been contacting people of planet Earth for many, many of your years. We have been contacting at intervals of thousands of years those who sought our aid. It is time for many of the people of this planet to be contacted, and for many now have the understanding and the desire to seek something outside the physical illusion that has for many years involved the thinking of those of this planet. Ra wants you to know that before Ra, there was Hatnon. Before Hatnon, there was more. The process we are stimulating is one which is self-generating. As more and more of those who desire our contact receive it and pass it on to others, then those who receive this pass on information will then themselves be able to reach a state of thinking and understanding sufficiently in tune, shall I say, with our vibrations in order to receive our contact. We asked, they came. We called, they came. We asked, they answered. Whether we believe it or not, they gave us an answer. Back to you, Marcus.
Wow. I'll actually I'll give some space over to our brother Munsa Magica over there. Brother man, do you have anything that you would like to share or reflect upon with that reading?
Yeah, well, first of all, I know that Ra is aware of this call right now. And it feels good to know that benevolent beings are watching over us right now, because we are doing our best to share this information with the collective consciousness. And yeah, Ra says, in book one as well, that yeah, to serve one is to serve all. And so as long as you know, we do our best to get this message out, it's not about the quantity of people that hear it, but it's the uh, simple. Uh, it's just putting it out there. As well. Like I'm clueless too. I don't know anything, and in that state, I'm receptive to this higher mind where I can follow my heart's guidance and know what feels true, and then act from that place. And also, another thing that came was like calling, that the moment that we put out that call, we are heard. And that, whether it's directed to a group of beings or it's directed to simply the source, and whatever you want to call that, whatever name you resonate with, that benevolent, loving intelligence is listening and wants to be called upon, and is almost waiting for these beings of earth to call upon. And sometimes it takes an act of crisis or something that, deep suffering, when people finally make that call. But I feel blessed, eternally blessed, to know that there are beings like Ra in this universe that love us in ways that we could not even fathom in this sort of limited construct that we have access to, in this vibration. And knowing that we're seen right now and we're being watched, and also the harvest. The harvest is now. And each thought, each feeling, each fraction of a second is extremely important, to where each being, each one of us has a choice. Each moment of where we're polarizing to. And I just wanted to extend my gratitude to the ones that answer our calls.
That was very medicinal. Thank you, brother. Wow. Beautiful space tonight. I'm so grateful for both of you, and grateful for Ra, grateful for the mother, father, all that is. Ah, man. With that being said, I'll go ahead and hand it back over to you, Sandee, if you would like to continue to explore with Ra over there.
Yes. Maloko oceanari ese sono toko wa. They said, we are attempting to communicate in such a way that the seeking of the individual will be stimulated to turning his or her thinking inward to the single source of love and understanding. Take the comma. with the pause, the creator. That is part of us all, not outside of us, but the creator that is part of us all. Part of everything that exists. For everything that exists, my friends, is the creator. Ra and Hatnon wanted to let you know that they are not doing this because they're seeking themselves. They already know themselves as the creator, as the one true creator, the expression of the one true creator. They're seeking to service you as the one true creator. You're an expression. If you have a question about that, put it in the chat. If you had a question like I did when I was a little kid, how can I be the one true creator and be me at the same time? It doesn't make sense, because we were taught one straight line of information. We were taught, you're born. We were taught, you grow, you go to school. We were taught, you start working, you work your whole life. We were taught, you work till you can't work anymore and you retire. And we were taught, you grow old and you die. So how can you believe that you are one in the same of a divine? We were taught divine was outside of us. Ra, Hatnon, Bashir, Abraham, and many others that channeled through to give us a message, gave us the message that we are wholeness. We are the one true divine seeking itself as us. That's all they came to do, was give us information that says, yes, you are the I and I. You are the capital I and the capital I. You are the one true creator expressing as the one true I that is you. It took me a long time to get that. I've moved through every question, every religion that I tried to seek what was already in me. I tried to seek it because I was told it was outside of me. And all Ra wants you to know is that it's in you already. And you have to go seek it. Not know it first, but seek it. And then know thyself. And that's the journey. That's the journey. That's the expression of the journey. They said, we are very privileged to have you join us in this great service at this time in our history. Not just in our history, on our planet. We're one. They are one with us. That's what Divine just told me right now. When we read it before, it said, at this time in the history of your planet, Divine said, they said in our history, they are with us. They're not separate from us. Whoa. The Divine just dropped the big fucking quarter. Ra isn't separate from us. Ra is an expression of the divine that's part of us. Hatnan isn't separate from us. Hatnan is part of us. We are part of them. In every now moment, in every expression of what we call time, everywhere, we are part of that divine experience. It's not separate. Every now moment, every frequency, we're not separate from it. It's part of us and we're part of it. Hatnan says, speak our desires to seek something outside of the physical illusion. When the Creator speaks, the Creator talks about something that is so often referred to by others self. It's seeking itself everywhere in the cosmos. And guess what? You're the cosmos. Ra calls the confederation of planets in the service of the infinite creator as the original thought. This is another term for our word love, but implies a great deal more. It implies unity that is so great that we do not see each other simply as close friends or brothers or sisters, but ideally as the creator. When I look at Marcus, I see him as the creator, not just a collaborator. That's right. Take that picture in. When you look in the mirror, see yourself and know you are the creator, seeking itself through, in, and as you. And as we see each other and ourselves as the creator, we see one being. We see the wholeness of the divine when we look at each other. The concept is at the very heart of telepathy, and Hatnan talks about the concept and the original thought in general. It is said, at this time I'm in a craft far above your place of dwelling. I am at this time able to monitor your thoughts. This, my friend, might seem to some of your people as infringement, but I can assure you that it is not. Our capabilities of knowing the thinking of the peoples of this planet Earth are not designed in any way to infringe upon either your thinking or their activities. We do not consider the knowledge of the thought of others to be infringement, for we see these thoughts as our own. We see thoughts as the thoughts of the Creator. Every thought you've ever had can't be hidden from the Creator because you are the Creator. The Creator will not usurp your thoughts. You still get to create from those thoughts. The Creator won't stop you from creating from a negative polarity. That's your choice. The Creator will say, interesting choice. The Creator is seeking itself as you, through your thoughts, through your choices, through how you see things right or wrong, because right or wrong is just a compass that moves you along to the next part of the story. You are the Creator seeking itself. You are the expression. Back to you, Marcus.
No, something has been coming to me lately, and it actually came to me yesterday, and it was just like the guides or my higher self, and I just heard intuitively just echo through my head, and it was like, Marcus, you can either keep on trying to dream the dream, or you can embody the dream. Oh man, when I heard that echo through my head, I stopped for a moment. I was like, wait a minute. I don't have to always fantasize. I don't always have to think that something is always a dream or just something that is so somewhere to reach. But I can remember that I'm the one who created all this in the first place, and I'm here to experience it all. And with that, what really is a dream? What's a dream from reality? What's a reality from a dream? What is real from fake? What is fake from real? And I've just been really blending it all, mixing it and mastering it and flowing, dividing, and putting it all back together. And wow, what a beautiful life we have. I'm just so grateful. And the beauty is we can dream and we can embody the dream at the same time and at different times. And there's no right or wrong because it's the dream. It's just all interchangeable, transmuting. And when we can allow ourselves that grace of reprogramming ourselves subconsciously into the law of one alignment, as in just this type of knowledge, this embodiment, the peace that we can have within ourselves. And I gotta say, those of you out there, check out the chakras if you haven't, or if you have, maybe relook the chakras. Chakras have just been coming up for me lately, and I've just been hearing and feeling that there may be just a little bit of clearing in the chakras, and that clearing can help us really ground and anchor in these transmissions that we're receiving and these shadows that are starting to come up to the surface as well. And just remember as well that we're all in this together. Nobody's at a destination. Even if they're a podcast host or a creator of any type of business or anything like that, we are all in this together. We all have shadows. We all have lessons. And we are all here to be love. Back to you.
Munas.
Uh-oh.
Share.
I would simply like to put myself in a place of repentance and humility, because I find that when I'm genuinely humbled by the illusions, my own distortions, my own illusions that arise that I take to be reality, a lot of the times I realize that that's actually simply not real. It can never be what I think can, and it's like it can never be the real, but it comes from the real. It comes from the one infinite creator. So it is real. So it's this process of like seeing that, you know, this illusion of a thought is also what creates reality. So it's like the illusion is another name for reality. It's just like the expression of reality, or the outer manifestation. So I realized that this word illusion, if we recontextualize it in a healthy way, that it's not a negative thing. And that's something that's coming up for me. It's like, oh, you know, we've been conditioned to be like, oh, that's an illusion, or like the Matrix is an illusion. It's like, no, because it exists, it must be real. There's life there. There's the divine, the Christ is there. The heart is there. So it's real. So it has love within it. So we must love everything. And even when we see our brothers and sisters that choose the negative path, they have to turn around and they hit the brick wall at the 6th density anyways, and they have to. There's no the illusion. It only goes so far until you have to recognize that there is actually a divine, benevolent, all-loving creator that is the field and that is here now. And that's what's coming up for me. Humility.
Yeah, I love the way, because it okay, I've got to slow my roll. The divine is always seeking itself, and it's moving up the polarities back to merge with itself. It's the dreamer having a dream about the dreamer dreaming. That's how triune we are. It's the dreamer, the divine, having a dream about itself, having a dream. And these polarities that we've moved through, whether we do it incarnations or not, whether we do it all through this body, we're finally understanding that we've come into this 3rd density to have duality. Whether we call it the Matrix, or whether we call it illusion, or whether we call it consciousness or awareness, whether we call it Buddha consciousness or Christ consciousness, we came to have a relationship with duality. So if there's an up, there must be a down. If there is a good, there will be a bad. But we get to choose from it where it takes us. No right or wrong to it as far as the divine is concerned, because the divine is seeking itself in us. And the divine will say, I'm not judging you. You may have been told once upon a time that you were judged, but I'm not judging you. But guess what? That is a choice. If you want to still keep thinking that you're being judged, I honor that. Because I am the dreamer having a dream about you, dreaming about being in captivity of being separate, or being in fear, or being a victim. It's okay. If that's what you want to be, I'm going to be it with you. That's the divine. That's the one true creator seeking itself in duality. So if somebody tells you this duality is a matrix, what are you going to do with it? You're the one true creator. If they tell you it's illusion, what are you going to do with it? You're the one true creator. If they tell you that it's all awareness, it's all the mind, what are you going to do with it? You're the one true creator. You've been told that you were on a planet that's in the middle of all these stars and in the middle of being alone. You're the only planet that houses beings like ourselves, and you're alone. It must be that we're the one true thing that the Creator has created. We must be benevolent, and everything was created for us. And guess what? If it was created for us, we must be able to destroy it. But the divine says the story, Earth consciousness, can't be destroyed. Go read the book, The Divine Design. The moment I read that book, I'm going to tell you, it gave me a whole new outlook on the one true Creator's expressions. That it isn't only about human beings, it's about every being, everywhere, all at once, and not at all. The divine seeking itself everywhere in its creation. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. What works for me doesn't have to work for you. You don't have to walk in my shoes. I've already walked in those shoes. Matter of fact, don't even try to fit there. Take what resonates for you and then fit where you want to fit. That's the essence of the one true Creator being you. Hatnan said, I cannot overemphasize the necessity of becoming able to understand the nature of the potential within your illusion, and then by self-analysis and meditation, reacting to that in a way which will express the thought that generated us, the thought of our Creator. This was done by the teacher whom you know as Jesus. This man recognized his position. He recognized the illusion. He understood the reason for the potential within the illusion. And his reaction was, or is, to these potentials and activities within illusion was reaction, which was expressing the thought of the one true Creator in the thought of love. Now that's one example. We've been reading book 1 and book 2, and the divine keeps giving you examples of expressions of itself and many others. Those that took the positive polarity and guess what? Our higher beings got to choose the higher polarity or the lower polarity, along with our body and our mind that got to choose free will. There's a lot of choosing going on. There's a lot of free will fucking choice going on. When you dive deep into it and understand that your higher being, that being that is intricately connected to the I and the I of you, gets to make a choice. It gets to move up the polarities and make a choice. And understand, if it makes a choice of a negative polarity and it stays all the way up there to the 6th density, before it merges back with the divine, it at that point, it has to go back to the one true Creator of love. Or guess what? It gets at 6th density, that soul beingness gets to turn around and do it all over again. It can say, I'm not ready yet. And the divine says, let it be so. And it gets to start all over again. It has to do the process again. It might not do it in your body, but it gets to start over again. It has choice. your higher being or your oversoul, whatever you want to call it, is the divine seeking itself and making a choice to go back to square one. Or it can decide, I don't want to do baby again. I don't want to go through the whole birthing process. I think I just want to be part of consciousness that is part of the density of things that people want. I can be that. I can be the consciousness of a cow, so somebody can eat, or a plant. Deep, huh? When you wake up with these kind of dreams that the divine gives you, holy shit. I woke up with that a couple of days ago, and the divine says, you're gonna talk about this. Go to this page 29 in the book 1. And I said, okay. It's deep. And then when you think you know all that you think you know, shit, there's more. I've read book 1. Besides this time, I've read book 1, and there's still shit that's being thrown at me, saying, oh, it means this. Well, no, I thought it meant this. No, it means this too. And it always goes back to the one creator seeking itself because it wanted to know itself. It knows itself in all of its formless, but it wanted to know itself in form. It's not that it didn't know it couldn't do any of the things that it could do. It's saying, I want to do them. And it's giving us this opportunity. The triunus, yeah. Once you figure that out, once you have that awakening and you figure out that you're not just your body and you're not just your mind, and you figured that I've got some kind of oversoul or I've got some kind of higher being, and then you start tapping into that, your mind is going to just be blown. Once you figure out that you can actually create your own healing, that you can speak to any, you don't have to fear anything. You don't have to fear mankind's medicine. You can take mankind's medicine and take the pill and speak what heals you from the pill, and then tell the rest of it, I don't want you. Give it permission to go back to the divine, because that's what it was before it became pill form. Take only what you need. I take blood pressure medicine for right now until I get it in check and find out what holistically works for me to lower my blood pressure. But right now I take that pill, and before I put it in my body, I give thanks for it, and I tell it that which is going to lower my blood pressure only is welcome in my body. Everything else that is not for my highest and greatest good, you have permission to leave my body and go back to the divine where the energy was created. It was energy before it was a pill. Can you imagine finding out that you have that much power in you? And that pill has to say, your wish is my command. I'm doing it. Can you imagine? That's an alchemist. That's the one true creator being part of you. That's what Hatanan was talking about. That's the one true creator. Every thought is the one true creator. Every thought that you'll ever have, every thought that you think about having, but don't dare to have because somebody else told you that, ooh, you can't think that. I don't think that's going to work for you. Well, the one true creator says, what's your thought? Give it to me. Why are you giving it to somebody else? The one true creator. It knows every thought that you're going to have before you have it. Infinite thoughts. You get to choose them, and you can't hide them from the one true creator because the one true creator is you. Somebody needs to hear that now or either in replay. Somebody is about to shift because of this. Go read the book, The Divine Design. We as humans have come here to shift and to expand. To shift and expand. To shift and expand. And then evolve to the next moment. Whoa. Back to you, Marcus.
This grounding that all in. And there's something that came to me from the Kabbalion, good old Kabbalion, Hermetic philosophy. And all this talk about different planes and different beings, different body forms. And it reminds me of the Hermetic principle of the planes of correspondence. The good old plane of correspondence. It talks about how there are basically parallel multidimensional planes of existence, all simultaneously existing at one time, interconnected, fluidly. Depending upon the mental vibration that you are concentrating, your free will energy as a multidimensional being, you may mentally assimilate that reality as your embodied experience. Now, depending upon what type of material form you're in, if you're in a material form, there are specific principles and bounds that you're connected to with that form. But when we talk about the planes of correspondence, the plane of correspondence is speaking upon how in different dimensional realms, if you want to call it that, and these are all subtle, nothing's ever finite, they're all subtle and they blend. But in these dimensional realms, there's different body forms to be able to mentally exist in and experience through. So in the plane of correspondence, it talks about many different broken down subsections within that. And those broken down subsections go into different categories, such as the mental plane of the elemental mind, the mental plane of the human mind, the plane of animal mind, the plane of mineral mind. And there's more beyond that as well that you can find in the Kabbalion text. So what this is breaking down is that in these, what you can call quantum field or Akasha dimension, which is also known as the fourth dimension, is where the matrix is basically stored. And this matrix is the light programs, it's the light codes. And these codes are what assimilate the higher light into a form to experience, into the fourth and then into the third. The fourth can be related to our light body or our energy body. And then that light body, energy body assimilates into our material body. So with that being said, it also talks about how, depending upon the bodily form that you're experiencing through, there are different roles, there are different positions, so to say, that you take a part in, you go on missions for, or you embody. So in this realm, we have a third dimensional body, we have the human body, there's animal bodies that are third dimensional as well, and some other bodies. And when we're interacting with these different bodies, such as, say, your dog at home, you're interacting with your dog at home due to having all these corresponding mental planes of existence and the all being mental. We're exchanging mental vibrations with each other, me and the dog. And as we're exchanging mental vibrations, we're exchanging basically the programming or the different dimensions of that mental realm that our being is governed in. And as we exchange, we then feel and sense through our mental body, and then through our emotional body, and then into our physical body, through the energy body, what it's like to be connected to the energy of a dog. And then that dog feels what it's like to be connected to the energy of the human being. And then it becomes a transmission of energy and an exchange, an alchemy through mentalism. And then it goes through the dimensional layers into your emotional and physical forms. And this is with everything that we exist with, everything that we have any type of corresponding sense of. There's some type of mental dimension that has to do with this form that we are interacting with. And they're all parallel, happening at the same time. And the key is, where is our awareness? Our awareness is going to determine what it is that we are in interaction with directly. So that, again, you can find in the Kabbalion, Hermetic philosophy, 7 different principles. And that was just a little bit of a breakdown with the law of correspondence, corresponding multi-dimensional planes all existing at once. I'll hand it over to somebody else.
Munas.
It's in the Amazon cart. I think you're on mute. Oh, hold on.
Munas, you're on mute.
There we go. I got you.
Yeah, I'm in resonance. I was gonna say I gotta go downstairs in my apartment to get the door. So if I fly off, then I'll pop back, and that's all I have to say.
Okay.
Yeah, my partner is coming home from teaching yoga, and she does sound healing, so she's gonna be home soon. So I just gotta run down. So if you see me pop out, I'm still here.
Okay. I was going to say, I could just take you off the screen and then you can stay on here. And if I see you pop in, then you can be good.
Okay. Great.
All right, brother, man.
Love.
One love.
One love. Always.
So I'll just take you off the screen.
I love this. This is wonderful. So
Mm-hmm.
the divine wanted me to share from here. The questioner was saying, is this extremely negative entity still incarnate on Earth? And the divine wanted me to start there because Ra says this is correct. The questioner says, then would I assume that you can name him? So I will ask you where Nikola Tesla got his information. We started there to say, woo, well, wait, I'm missing something. But this is where the divine wanted me to start. So we're going to start here. Ra says, I am Ra. I know one as Nikola received information from the Federation. That's Ra. You may hear it, you know, the Federation. You may hear it, you know, like the divine say these things because these are our terminology, right? They go on to say, it is unfortunate, shall we say, that like many body-spirit complexes, that's us, because remember, Ra is a sixth density complex, right? They say it is unfortunate, shall we say, that like many body-spirit complexes, the wanderers, the vibratory distortions of third density illusion cause these wanderers, these vibrationally entities, to become extremely distorted in its perception of how its fellow entities to become extremely distorted in the perception, right? It means that they get to make a choice. Nikola Tesla was misunderstood. At least that's what we thought. Because there were others that took the path, the negative path, of service to self only at all costs, which included stealing his ideas, so to speak, by hindering him from allowing his ideas to be performed, because they knew better, because they had money to keep him from allowing his information to go out there. Nikola Tesla died penniless, but yet when it was time for them to make money off of his inventions, they had no problem using them. Service to self at the expense and cost of others. But the divine wants you to know that cause and effect, the law of karma, is always in play. So service to self only has its recourses. Look at that. I don't care they stole my idea. I care that they don't have any of their own. That's all he said. I don't care that they stole my idea. I care that they didn't have any of their own. Because he looked at self, which is them, his other self, them walking the path of the negative, or moving through the negative path, the negative polarity. The questioner says, how was Tesla's work supposed to benefit man on Earth, and what was its purpose? Ra says, I am Ra. The most desired purpose of mind-body-spirit complex, Nicola, was the freeing of all planetary entities from darkness. Thus, it attempted to give to the planet the infinite energy of the planetary sphere for use in lightning and power. The questioner said, by freeing the planetary entities from darkness, precisely what do you mean? Ra said, I am Ra. Most of the following answers was lost due to tape recorded malfunction. But the core of the response was as follows. We spoke of freeing people from darkness in literal sense. The questioner said, would this freeing from darkness be commensurated with the law of one? Or does this have any real product? Ra says, I am Ra. The product of such a freeing would create two experiences. Firstly, the experience of no need to find the necessary emolument for payment in your money or energy. Tesla wanted to make sure that everybody had this energy and this way of communicating with each other free of charge. That was his idea, that he could provide this information and it would be free. Secondly, the leisure afforded, thereby amplifying the possibility and enhancing the probability of the freedom to then search the self, the beginning of seeking the law of one. So Tesla wanted to do it for service to others. But the people that told him he couldn't do this, that told him he was crazy, were saying that they wanted service to self. They needed to make money, that his thought would not work if he was not going to charge. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You may not have that history may not be how you learned it. But Tesla wanted to make sure that the whole world could talk to each other. He saw all of what we're doing now. He envisioned all of what we are doing now at no charge. Ra goes on to say, few there are working physically from daybreak to darkness, as you name them, upon your plane, who can contemplate the law of one in consciousness fashion. I'm just giving you a moment to think about it. Any questions? Back to you, Marcus.
Well, Nikola Tesla is one of my favorites to connect with. The studies, just the energy of Nikola Tesla. Wow. I gotta say, I am just grateful for such a walk of life and the imprint that was left on this planet from this wonderful being. And I've always connected in a similar sense of wanting to serve and create through the purpose of efficiency, for peace, for freedom of mind, emotion, choice in a more clear and aware way. And I love what he has imprinted for us. I'm sure Muniz as well has plenty to connect with when it comes to Nikola Tesla, because he actually directly works with some of the device technologies that have been imprinted through Tesla into this earth plane. So if he is with us, I'll go ahead and allow him to share a little bit about his relationship with Tesla.
Greetings, family. Good to be back. I got the red light going. Yeah, I wanted to say as well, I give praise and thanks to Nikola Tesla for he came to bring the light, literally. And of course the quote unquote, I wouldn't even call it power, I would call it more control, as the negative polarity is based in domination, control, enslavement. And they do their best to feel like they're in control for as long as they can. But truth be told is that it is the beginning of New Earth, and you can't stop it. The realm that I'm in, there is a whole lot of free energy going on, and if we understand that the natural cycle of Earth going into the fourth density, positive, in 2012, according to Ra, is that free energy is going to be prominent on Earth once again. And Tesla came to, bring the light and to basically unify everybody, because when free energy is in the collective, there's no choice but to unify. In a sense, it's what I've noticed is being a creator of this technology, and the tensor being a very raw example of the torsion field or the scalar wave, or the Tesla called them the longitudinal wave. This is that life force energy. And what I believe Tesla, according to Ra, was a wanderer from a higher density, and kind of came here on a mission. But obviously, because of the veil of forgetting, we forget why we came here, and that's kind of the trip about it too, because it gives us that choice, which is inherent in the third density. But pulling it back to Tesla, is that he is a great inspiration of mine, and his level of purity, I feel, and of there's a Tesla violet ray wand, which we can test our organite pyramids, and basically we test the plasma coming off of it, or it's like the purple, the purple lightning bolt. But yeah, so we can test that when we test with our orgone devices, and we can see the conductivity. But yeah, I mean, being a creator of this tech, it's like I'm just doing my best to free myself from my own mind. And really, at the end of the day, you know, that's the most important. And that when I'm in that flow state, I'm able to channel this technology, you know, like I'll get this one right here. This one is the harmonizer, and this where are we at? So this one creates the torus field, and the qubits, actually the sacred qubit from this one is the 144 megahertz, and then the bigger one is the 177. So we call this the cosmic wash tub. And what this is, it's a frequency broadcasting device. So this was originally created to clean air pollution, but we found that you can actually put out frequencies into the field and override things like 5G and, you know, EMF that is harmful and is not beneficial to life and is actually a destructive harmonic. But yeah, that's just a little download on, you know, the free energy tech, which what I will say is it's here. It's here, and it's kind of like it's coming into the collective mind very rapidly. So I'll leave it at that. I'm going to go run down and get my beloved here. I think she texted me.
Sounds good, brother. Thank you.
And as he said, Tesla was a wanderer. Ra did say that. I was about to read that in the next wave of reading. Ra says, wanderers incarnate in several waves, as you may call them, in order to bring into existence the gradual freeing from the demands of the diurnal cycles and lack of freedom of leisure. They come in waves, wanderers. And they come knowing, our higher beings know, our higher beings or oversouls, whatever, they know that they're going to have amnesia for a little while. They know the whole process of third density. When they come here, they don't say, oh, it's a bad place, I want to go there. They come here, it's going, oh, it's going to be exciting. I'm excited. I'm going there with purpose, and I'm going to get it done. And the body that I chose to do it in, it's going to take me on what a ride. And sometimes, yeah, that higher being might, for a little bit, forget what purpose it came here to do. But then sometimes it kind of jumps right in there. But he was a wanderer. His oversoul, his higher being, was a wanderer. The questioner says, one thing that I forgot. Is it possible to have another session later on today? The divine wants you to know that when channeling through the body, the entities that are being channeled, make sure they take care of the body that's channeling them. Ra says, "It is well. I am Ra. I leave you now in love and light, and in the one infinite creator. Go forth, rejoicing in the power and the peace of the one creator, Adonai." The one true creator. The one true creator took expression in Adolf Hitler. You go, "Ooh, he was such an evil person." But the one true creator was seeking itself in, through, and as Adolf Hitler. No right or wrong to it. The higher being got to come in seeking something that it wanted to seek. It wanted to seek control. It wanted to feel what it was like to have control, what the vibration of control felt like in the physical. No right or wrong to it. It just wanted to feel it. And the being, the body, and the mind gave an expression of that to that higher being. And guess what? All the other higher beings sat there and said, well, if you want to play this game, then that means that you're going to have people that are going to be controlled. So we'll be them for you. It's a story being played out. No right or wrong to it. And when they were coming into the pattern or the vibrational pattern of the story that they were going to play on the playground. The higher being that was Adolf Hitler did come in the same way it came. Higher beings came in other entity in other form. And guess what? When that entity, body, mind, and soul, left this version of 3D, it went back to the divine. It merged back with the divine. Did it incarnate again? Most likely it did. Did it choose to try it again? Probably tried to control again. Didn't have to come back as Adolf Hitler a second time. It could have came back as somebody else. Trying to feel what trying to have that expression. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Some will call him evil and think that he's not going to have a place in heaven. It's the divine seeking itself. The divine is going to go back to itself. It's going to merge with itself. But guess what? The divine says you don't have to believe that if you don't want. Why? Because you are an expression of me, and you get to create from your thought pattern of what works for you, for your story, on whatever part of the playground you want to play in. Back to you, Marcus.
Mm-hmm. You know, I just gotta say, a wonderful quote from Taught the Atlantean from the Emerald Tablets. Thee who knows the fire that is within himself shall ascend unto the eternal fire and dwell in its eternal fire. And again, he who knows the fire that is within himself or herself shall ascend unto the eternal fire and dwell in the eternal fire. And so it is. Ashe.
And
You
so
get
it,
the free will choice to choose if you just want to be the eternal fire. And that's all you experience. Through your lens, seeing everything else around you as the eternal fire. Including Sandee with the blue headband. Chose it specifically for an individual intention and reason that resonated with her being. And she is the same eternal fire that is Marcus choosing Dragon Ball Z
yes.
for the inner child, which is also the same eternal fire as Munas over there, with a beautiful tensor around his neck. And man, when you really just embrace it, embrace that we are all here together as the same source, experiencing at a intentional free will for really just, an eternal dance, a party, we're here to party in many different ways. And wow, I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful to be able to be here as one, but also be able to have our own unique blueprint. Like, what a true blessing. Couldn't be more grateful. I'll hand it back over.
All right. Book 2, page 62. The questioner says, out of the Seth material, Seth was another channel entity that channeled through a human vessel. Out of the Seth materials, we have a statement in which Seth says that each entity here on earth is part of or aspects of higher self or oversouls, which have many aspects or parts of many dimensions, all of which learn lessons which allow the higher self to progress in the balanced manner. Am I to understand from this that there are many experiences similar to the ones which we experience in third density, which are governed by a single higher self? I am Ra. The correctness of this statement is veritable. The more imbalanced an entity becomes, the less the possibility/probability vortexes may need to be explored in parallel experiences. The questioner says, do I understand from this then that the higher self or the oversoul may break down into numerous units if the experience is required to what we would call simultaneously experience different types of catalysts and then oversee these experiences? I am Ra. This is a statement that we cannot say to be correct or incorrect due to the confusion of what you call time. True simultaneity is available only when all things are seen to be occurring at once. Thus overshadows the concept which you speak. The concept of various parts of being, living experiences of varying natures simultaneously is not precisely accurate due to your understanding that this would indicate that this is occurring with true simultaneity, and is not the case. The case is from universe to universe, the parallel existence can be then programmed by the higher self, given the information available from the mind, body, spirit complex, totally regarding the probability / possibility vortexes at any crux. Wow. Just simply wow. It for me, that just brings, every time the divine has me say that the divine is all and nothing at the same time, it is experiencing itself as all and nothing at the same time. You're the creator. You're having a now moment of possibilities and probabilities all at the same time. Right? All at the same time. Now that's what I got from that. That's what came to me. Munas, Marcus, you want to take it from there? Yeah. You have, I know you have something to add to it. The divine just said you did. Woo.
Yeah. Wow. I'll let Munis go ahead and share if you like.
Tapping into a state of meditation right now. This is great. I didn't know what I was in for, but this is this is the place to be.
Absolutely, brother. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, being nothing, right? And everything simultaneously. What does Ra say? One of the first quotes that Ra ever spoke to us. You are everything, every being, every emotion, every event, every situation. You are unity, you are infinity, you are love, light, light, love. You are. This is the law of one. So what is it that tells us that we're not that? I think that's important to get, is that I don't know about you, maybe I can get like a thumbs up that I'm not the only one that's dealing with this, what we call the ego construct, or like transcending the ego. I feel like, it's important to we call it the ego, but like it's also it's the divine playing with itself. So it's like all of these processes and teachings that I've gone through to get to this point where I'm just like, I'm here now. Now it's time to create. And so, I mean, I've been loving Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he has the meditations, which is really like becoming nobody. And when you are nobody, you are the quantum field, raw itself, the creator itself, the awareness itself. And then it's now about creating within thought and within feeling, because those are the two creative principles, right? It's like the consciousness is the foundation that holds, in which everything appears in. But it's like, what do I want to create? Like, be the change you wish to see in the world. And that is profound, that Gandhi statement. Be the change you wish to see. How deep does that go, right? It's like, it tells us that every single thought, every single feeling, we're literally putting that out into the web, into the ether, that is affecting universes way over there, and that is affecting planets way over there. And how I, as a single Stephen, I have all this power to bring the positive change on this earth. Where does that start? That starts right here in the silence. So we got to learn how to silence the mind. And then when we silence the mind, we use the mind when we're in control to create and to project divine love. And anything that's not of that, I do my best to correct and to say, no, that's not what I want to put out into the earth. As painful as it is, as hard as it feels sometimes, to turn away from this thing that we get so addicted to. We get so addicted to our own thoughts, our own story, our own world, but maybe unity consciousness, where we merge into the social memory complex, we start to become telepathic and we merge with each other, and we realize that we are one. And that is where the blissful self exists, when the ego, or this illusion of being separate, dissolves. And I see I am one with my brother, but not only to intellectually, theoretically hear that teaching, but to get it and to treat my brother, treat my sister as I would want to be treated. And that is the teaching. That is what's important. No matter what the mind's telling you, you don't have to listen to it. It's simply an option. It's a suggestion. But we have the power when you become the creator and you realize your oneness with it. You can say, oh no, that thought is the negative polarity. That will only breed more war. I choose the positive. I choose forgiveness. I choose acceptance. I choose to surrender to the divine will. And that is how using our free will is going to free us to merge with the divine will, which will ascend us up the frequencies into the fourth density, and where New Earth is now. I have to go downstairs. I'll be back.
I love the different ways that the divine will express itself through vessels in such a passionate way, and then all of a sudden drop into the 3D and be like, all right, I'll be right back. I gotta open the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
So I'm going to read you something from the Divine Design. And it's in chapter 1. Chapter 1 is called The Design of the 5D Earth. All right. It says, let us start from the beginning. All consciousness began from the same source, which many in your field of consciousness may refer to as God. Source is a word used by the human to attempt to understand the beginning of consciousness. It allows the human to hold or conceptualize the unnameable. Words are conceived within the dimension one finds themselves in. Consciousness itself does not have a word associated with it. The human needs words to understand its experience. Throughout this book, we will use human words to describe that which has no name. Source exists as vibration, a soul tone, a single breath that never stops, a heartbeat that continues to expand. Source is a single vibration that has no beginning and no end. There is no definition, no description, no label. It just is. It exists in no time or space, and yet it holds everything. It is a concept, one that the human mind grapples with because source is beyond experience. It is all and nothing at the same time. Humans have touched the spark of source, entering its one unified field of nothingness. When the human consciousness enters it, there is a feeling of complete bliss and oneness. These are simple words used to describe that which is difficult to describe. Source exists in the space of oneness. It has nothing to experience other than the one unified field of its spark. As one unified field, it can only experience itself by existing outside of itself. Source uses individual sparks of its own consciousness to experience itself, i.e., you and me. It pulsates or splits as aspects of consciousness and sends it out to the quantum field. That unique consciousness holds its own energetic frequency based on its energetic spin. You're spinning, baby. You're the quantum spin inside of this human flesh with a mind. The frequency creates its experience. The consciousness then splits from source, becomes its own energetic expression with its unified and unique experience. Every individual consciousness existing in the now, including you, in its creative way. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Exactly. I am in the Father and the Father is in me. I'm going to tell you, I grew up with that my mother would quote that to me. My mother, who was a divine spiritual source of wholeness for me, that allowed me to learn these things so that I could take it to the next level. That the Father is the Son and the Son is the Father. that the father is the daughter and the daughter is the father, that the mother is the daughter and the daughter is the mother. We are one. We are the same. We are unique. We are the quantum that the divine is moving through. This is what Ra is saying. The one true creator. We come in the name of the one true creator, but we are the one true creator. Ra is the one true creator. Ra is the Jesus, the Buddha, and you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. The questioner says, could you give me an example of how this programming by the higher self would then bring about education through parallel experiences? Ra says, I am Ra. Perhaps the simplest explanation of this apparent simultaneous of existence of two selves, which are in truth of one self at the same time, same space, is this. The oversoul, as you call it, or higher self, seems to exist simultaneously with the mind-body-spirit complex, which it aids. This is not actually simultaneous, for the higher self is moving to the body, the mind, the spirit complex as needed from a position in development of the entity which would be considered in the future of the entity. The questioner then says, then the higher self operates from the future as we understand things. In other words, my higher self would operate what I would consider to be my future. Is this correct? I am Ra. From the standpoint of your space/time, this is correct. The questioner then asks, in that case, my higher self would have a very large advantage in knowing what was needed, since it would know, as far as I am concerned, what's going to happen. Is this correct? I am Ra. This is not correct. In that this would be an abrogation. I think I might have pronounced that that word wrong, of free will. If you already knew the future, then that would be kind of like, what would you need free will for if you already knew the future? Your higher being is just in a position of being all or nothing at the same time. It is having a vantage point of past, present, and future all at the same time. It's us watching ourselves make a choice. It's the dreamer having a dream about dreaming. Can I say it again? It's the dreamer, the divine, having a dream about itself, dreaming about being us. And saying, okay, what you got to do now? The higher self aspect is aware of the lessons learned through the sixth density. The progress rate is fairly well understood. The choices which must be made to achieve the higher self as it is, or as it is, are in the provenance of the mind, body, spirit complex itself. Us. Our higher being is dependent on us being the vehicle that's taking it on its journey. And through our free will choices, it's giving us infinite possibilities of what it can learn. The higher self is like the map in which the destination is known. The roads are very well known. These roads being designed by the intelligent infinity working through the intelligent energy. However, the higher self aspect can program only for the lessons and certain predisposition limitations of its wishes. You get to choose. And if you already got some program going on that's not for your highest and greatest good, guess what? Your feelings and your emotions tell you about them, and then you get to choose again. The remainder is completely the free choice of each entity. There is the perfect balance between the known and the unknown. Back to you, Marcus.
Ooh-wee. I just love this stuff, man. Like, I cannot get enough of it. And I'm over here.
I got goosebumps.
I got my seat warmer on, the vibrations going. You know, my being is just loving life right now. You know, I always welcome you guys, you know, get comfortable while you're in these spaces with us, you know, get cozy, get your blankets, pillows, burn some sage, get your tea, hydrate well, some snacks, and have a full-blown experience with touching with Ra and allowing this information to flow through you. So I tell you what, it can be a very beautiful multidimensional experience if you allow yourself to be open like that and bring that home feeling into this space with us, because that is something we welcome you, is the feeling of home and that feeling of unified soul family connection. And I have a wonderful, wonderful scripture for us. And this scripture is from, I mean, I guess in a way you can say the Bible, but for some odd reason, this scripture was left out of the main Bible, but we can go ahead and say it's part of the Bible. And it comes from the book of Thomas, the Gospel of Thomas, that is, I should say. And this is a wonderful, wonderful text where Yeshua is basically giving a little bit of wisdom about, you know, seeing the connection within and without. Remembering that, you know, nobody is above another just because of the wisdom that they are sharing. So I'll share one quote we have here from the book of Thomas, and this is from number 22. And you guys, of course, can look this up anywhere online. The book of Thomas, it's one of the missing Bible books that was removed, along with the Gospel of Mary and a few others. And what he says here is, Yeshua saw some babies nursing, and he said to his students, these nursing babies are like those who enter the kingdom. And I'll go ahead and pull this on the screen for you guys. those who enter the kingdom, they said to him, then shall we enter the kingdom as babies? Yeshua said to them, when you make the two into one, and when you make the inner like the outer, and when the outer like the inner, and the upper like the lower, and when you make male and female into a single one, so that the male will not be male, nor the female be female, when you make eyes in place of an eye, a hand in place of a hand, a foot in place of a foot, an image in place of an image, then you shall enter the kingdom. Yeshua said, I shall choose you as one from 1,000 and a two from 10,000, and they will stand as a single one. His students said, show us the place where you are. We must seek it. Keep in mind that in this gospel, this is after the resurrection. So this is purely channeled from the higher spirit of Yeshua at this point through these disciples, which is why it says, his students said, show us the place where you are. We must seek it. Because this is when he's channeling through them in his resurrected form, which is his higher light body. So he says to them, whoever has ears should hear. There is light within a person of light, and it shines on the whole world. If it does not shine, it is dark. Yeshua said, love your brother like your soul. Protect that person like the pupil of your eye. Yeshua said, you see the speck in your brother's eye, but not the beam in your own eye. When you take the beam out of your own eye, then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. If you do not fast from the world, you will not find the kingdom. If you do not observe the Shabbat, you'll not see the Father. Yeshua said, I took my stand in the midst of the world, and I appeared to them in flesh. I found them all drunk, yet none of them thirsty. My soul ached for the human children, because they are blind in their hearts and do not see. They came into the world empty and seek to depart from the world empty. But now they are drunk. When they shake off their wine, they will repent. Yeshua said, if the flesh came into being because of spirit, it is a marvel. But if the spirit came into being because of body, it is a marvel of marvels. Yet I marvel at how this great wealth has come to dwell in this poverty. Yeshua said, where there are three deities, they are divine. Where there are two or one, I am with that one. Yeshua said, a prophet is not accepted in his hometown. A doctor does not heal those who know the doctor. Yeshua said, a city built upon a high hill and forfeited cannot fall, nor can it be hidden. Whew. The Book of Thomas.
Powerful. Powerful.
Mm.
Mm, 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 mm. The divine is channeling itself through us. Yeah, there may be some that are called to do that. They come expressly to do that. They came when Earth consciousness called, so that she could shift, so that she could evolve and keep playing. You go playing, Sandra? Playing her game. She wanted to do what she does in formless in form, and she took a form body called Earth or Earth plane or planet Earth, and she has her consciousness there, growing and expanding, and her growing and expanding, we grow and expand with her. And we were given these human bodies were given the opportunity to come and play on the playground. And guess what? We get to dive into the lower polarity and play there if we so choose. It's a choice. It may not feel good to someone else, but it certainly is your choice to stay in the lower polarities if that's where you want to stay. If you want to play there, you can stay there. But if you don't want to play on that playground in that certain vibration of lower polarity, you get to change it anytime. That's all Ra is saying. You've been given the opportunity, and all anybody can do is give you a seed and say, here, do you want it? And the person gets to say nope and throw it away. Or the person gets to plant it and then start to figure out how to water it and to take care of it. It may not be your job to water for them. That's all Ra is saying. Ra is saying, I'm going to give you the information. I'm going to try not to usurp your free will or your choices. We've managed to do this where we don't have to walk upon the earth and make you feel like you have to do something. We're going to channel it. We're going to have it available to you. These books, they've been sold. You can find them on Instagram. You can find them on Facebook. In the Facebook stores, the Instagram stores, the TikTok stores. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them you can walk into a bookstore and find these books. The words are there. You get to believe them or not. You get to take what resonates for you and allow yourself to grow, to expand, to take the information in, to use it for your highest and greatest, I'm going to just say what the divine wanted me to say, your highest and greatest glory. And then evolve as an expression of the divine. Genghis Khan, the higher being that came and was Genghis Khan, the most, they said he was just evil incarnate. Right? But he came to control. That's what his higher beingness wanted to feel, was control. He chose the polarity, the negative polarity. Not just body and mind, but higher being. Why? Because the higher being had the opportunity to choose that. That was part of how they were going to experience and express themselves. Right or wrong, by other people's standards, that higher being chose that. And the divine didn't say that it's right or wrong. It just gave us a duality that said, if you have a feeling of right, you must have a feeling of wrong. And by that, you get to decide: do you want to play in Genghis Khan's playground, and who do you want to play? Do you want to play the victim, the survivor, or do you even want to play in that arena? Now, we're talking about it as if it's part of our past, but there's another dimension where the higher being got to play that out. That playground is still active in another dimension. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Infinite possibilities. The all and the nothing. Did the higher being that was Genghis Khan merge back with the divine? Eventually it did. If you believe that, you might believe in heaven and a hell, and maybe the higher being that was Genghis Khan is in hell now, possibly. Or maybe having an incarnate constantly incarnating till they get it right. Infinite possibilities. That's all Ra is saying. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Back to you, Marcus. You take this moment. You got to think about it. Took me a minute to really go, oh, that's what that is. Blows your mind.
AARAC. Thank you guys for the deep conversation. And I am processing it all, taking it in. Yeah, this is...
That's all we can ask, is that you process it, you take it in, and then you create with it what you need to create with it in your story. The story is just life. Your life.
That's right.
What part of the playground are you playing on? Right?
And it's your free will.
Mm-mm.
You know, that's why me and Sandee, we don't really, we don't feel the need, we don't feel the bother to try to make you do anything or try to judge you for what you're being and who you are, because we all have free will choice. including ourselves and you. So with that being said, it's a very beautiful and powerful thing. It's as powerful as it gets in this existence with free will. And with that, it's like that understanding. It's like, man, I really do love unconditionally, because no matter what degree of choice or experience that someone else is moving through, they're just like me, as in the sense of, if I'm aware of how powerful I am and my capabilities, and that I'm able to transmute and alchemize, go through pain, but overcome it, go through challenges, but overcome it, go through what feels like loss and death and separation and all these different things, but still be able to find myself and find love and be able to create and do beautiful things, then I'm going to believe that about you as well. And that's how I am. That's how I operate, is if I see that in me and I believe that I can do that and I am doing that, then I see that inside of you as well. And that's how I want to treat you, is someone that's capable, someone that's able to obtain consciousness when it's shared. I mean, to whatever degree it naturally resonates for you. And that, you can be given a little bit of space, a little bit of cushion from me feeling like I need to break my neck a little bit to tell you all this stuff about knowledge, or feel like you need to wake up fully now to this degree in this way. But no, just to remember all of this, remember our connection of oneness, our experiences of free will, and that you're capable and able to shift through your experiences. And yeah, maybe sometimes it takes a little bit of time for you to shift out of that experience. But I still have a trust and belief in you that at some point you will. And not only will you, but you will due to your own free will of choice. Not because of me telling you, not because of Sandee reading the book to you, not because of your parents or your brother or somebody in your community telling you and trying to make you, but out of your own free will. And out of your own free will, whenever you have the experience that triggers that for you. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of the journey right there, is that we will always find that way in some type of way. And for some, it's always.
For some, it's always. Right? For some, it's always.
I love when spirit flows like that. The rhymes.
So me personally, I do have to go. I could stay here and we could just bounce back and forth between book 1 and book 2. But my dog is saying, if you don't want me to have an accident, right? But and he's being patient. He's a good guy. I'm going to read from here. It's called the Masters in New Energy. Okay, and it is a channeled reading, and it's Adamus Saint Germain is channeling, and this is a good closing. I just listened to the divine when the divine says, okay, go here. And I look at it and I go, what? And it's truly, as Marcus was speaking, this is what came up. It says, having undeniable Implicit and total trust in yourself and total compassion for yourself is the key. It is the secret to mastery. You don't need to write volumes about it. You don't need to have long schools and classes about it. It just is. You just choose it. It is elegantly simple, and yet some make it so difficult and complex. As you trust yourself more and more each day, you open up to who you really are. Not just the identity that you have now, but the true you. As you open yourself through trust, you're going to discover what the unknown, what the unexplainable truly is, and you'll understand why it is difficult to put it or put on words to it. You will understand why we don't even like using such words as spirit or God to define it anymore. You will discover that it is already within, but not trapped within or limited to within. It is within you, but it is part of you that is so expansive, it is indescribable. It cannot be defined, only discovered and experienced. You are the Merlin energy. Merlin was believed to be the Merlin for King Arthur, but Merlins were just one. They were many who mastered the energy within. Merlins are just energy moving. You're a Merlin. You're moving. You're constantly shifting, expanding, spinning, and evolving. Take what resonates. Allow it to grow you if you so choose. You can resist it if you so choose. It's your choice. One love, wholeness, completeness, something that you already are. Thank you for being part of this wonderful, wonderful presentation of Book 1 and Book 2. Get ready for Book 3.
That's right. Thank you, everybody. This wraps up Book 1 and 2 of Ascending Beyond Limitations, the Raw Material Law of One. And wow, what a way to wrap up the first 2 books. I cannot ask for a more special, more beautiful, beautiful space that we had tonight. Thank you, Sandee. And thank you to Steven, Munis Magica. Everybody give him a follow, subscribe. He does have a YouTube channel as well, educating about his technologies, how to utilize tensor technologies, Organite, as well as other free energy Tesla technologies. And wow, next week, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. You guys know where to find us live. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Gratitude to you, Tia Ra, Divine Sister that is wonderfully embodying the light working on this grid. Thank you for being you and tapping in on Facebook. And yeah, with that being said, next week on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, we will be live for episode 39, and we'll be opening up book number 3. And boy, I cannot wait to see what type of figures, what type of dimensions, what type of beings we get to learn about as we explore more of the consciousness of the I am that we are, as we are here as the law of one. Sending love to all of you out there. You guys have a blessed and beautiful night. Stay up with us as we'll be doing things throughout the week that you guys can tap into. Reach out if you have any questions or you need some support. We are here for you.
We are here for you. And as Marcus has often quoted, know thyself. Take a moment to know thyself. Just go within. Doesn't have to be magnanimous. Just go within. Know thyself. Ask thyself, your higher being, the question. Your higher being is waiting for you to ask that embodying question. Take a little time. I know it's to be scary. It was scary for me my first time, my second time. 54th time, it was scary. But each time, the scary reduces, but the unknown becomes known to me. Ask a question. Seek the answer. Make it known. And then ask again. Life isn't doing anything to you. It's doing simply everything because of you. Time to find out if there's something in your life that you do not want. Ask why it's there. That's all. Say, why are you here? I need to know. What are you seeking from me that I need to know? Because sometimes it's seeking something from you. It's seeking something that it needs you to say. It's energy. Energy is seeking your request to manifest. Know thyself. It's a start. One love.
One love, everybody. Have a blessed time space that you are in. See you next Wednesday.